Today on What Went Wrong, never give up, never surrender, until it's time. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser with Not So Sane Entertainment, and there comes a time in every filmmaker's life when a project isn't going so well, and it seems it's best just to give up and abandon the project. Almost 100% of the time, you should plug on, keep forging through, make that last charge to get to the end, and just finish your film. But every filmmaker has at least that one project that just wasn't meant to be. And it's incredibly difficult to come to that realization, to give up and surrender. And we can all blame cognitive dissonance for that. At the risk of getting off topic, let's talk about the difference between an argument and a debate. When I'm having a discussion with someone and they say, let's agree to disagree, I know that I've won. They've raised the white flag of surrender and are trying to save face because when those words are uttered, let's agree to disagree, then they've exhausted all their arguments. I've nullified their points, proven them wrong, and they have nowhere else to go. They've become frustrated because I canceled out their points step by step and left them with nothing to fall back on. Now, in an argument, you fight to the death because the point of an argument is to win. You're arguing with your significant other as to who is responsible for taking out the garbage or whether you were actually flirting with that blonde at the office party. Your life is at stake. So you have to convince your wife that you weren't flirting or you face imminent death. The goal of a debate, however, is not to win, but to get to the truth. Sure, you're on opposite sides in a debate and you want to win, but in the end, both parties should be seeking the truth. In a court case, lawyers are making their arguments. They are both trying to win, but the overall point of the court case is to find the truth. And when all the facts and evidence have been presented, if you are left with the lesser argument, if your opponent has more facts and data to suggest they are right, and if they've obliterated your case by disproving it or by showing that your argument is not logically sound, then you've lost. But that's not a bad thing because you have discovered the truth. Socialism won't work. I always get that in there. No matter how much you want it to be. The facts and evidence just prove that it doesn't. So there is no shame in giving up because you've done something very important. You've discovered the truth and you can now accept reality rather than hold on to a false narrative. You may not like the truth, but it's still the truth. And remember, don't take it personally. Don't be offended or get upset because someone attacks your argument and proves that you're wrong. Because in fact, you're not the one that's wrong. It was your idea or the premise that is wrong. You are not defined by your argument or your idea. Your ideas don't make you who you are or define you. Your actions do. And when you can change your mind and can accept that your ideas are wrong and actually change your mind based on facts, based on a truth you've discovered, then there is an action you can be proud of. How does this apply to that film project you may be thinking about abandoning? Well, no one wants to abandon or give up on their film. And there is a major sense of pride attached to completing your film. And let's face it, there is a shame attached to not completing it. But sometimes your pride has to take that hit. Your reputation has to take that hit. Because your finances, your health, your relationships are sometimes more important than finishing that dream project. Now me, my finances, my health, and my relationships all take a back seat to filmmaking, right or wrong. That's a debate we can have for another time. But I've made the decision that finishing a project is the most important thing. So, when projects go wrong and there are roadblocks that prevent a film from being finished the way it was supposed to, an actor dropping out, locations falling through, whatever, I find a way to finish it. Just end it, complete it. But sometimes the cost of finishing that film outweighs the benefits. Maybe your pride can take that hit when you're going to lose the love of your life or is going to bankrupt you. I myself will always make that last one charge into the fray. my last stand, and give it that one last push forward. But then, I'm not married. I don't have kids. No real major responsibilities. So any risk I'm taking is only to myself, not to others. But when you're a father or a husband, then you have responsibilities. You accepted those responsibilities when you chose to say I do, or chose not to pull out. You may later down the road think they were mistakes, but guess what? You committed to that choice. You knew the risks. Even if she said she was on birth control, you accepted the possibility that she might be lying. You chose to trust her, knowing that if she was lying, that there would be consequences. Look, the point is you have responsibilities. How you got them is beside the point. You do. So when other people are impacted by your decisions, then you have to do what's right. You have to do the responsible thing. You have to put family first. You have to put the needs and feelings of your significant other ahead of your desire to finish that movie. You have a responsibility, and your pride, your ego, even your reputation as a filmmaker doesn't win when it comes to your responsibility as a parent. Now, with that said, the easiest way to avoid all of these tough decisions is to make sure you know what's involved before making the commitment to that film. Whether it's as a director, a writer, or as an actor, know what your responsibilities are to the film, and know what your responsibilities are to the relationships in your life. Weigh them, know them, and be aware of the possible outcomes and roadblocks that may come up. If you know you might be unable to fulfill the requirements of one or the other, then don't sign on. Don't accept that starring role in that movie that's going to take 3 months of weekends to complete. So if you're like me, and you know that you can't put your significant other or your kids ahead of your love of film, then don't get married. Don't have kids, and don't put yourself in a situation where one or the other might happen, on purpose or accidentally. Basically, don't start shit you can't finish, and you won't have to abandon a film.